Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the Milk Cafe. Hi, Hidden Harvest Grow Lights. How are you? How are you? How are you? Um, I think this is your first time to my live, but I'm not certain. Uh, let's see if this is adjusted well. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. We are talking about something very serious this morning, and it's been something that I've wanted to cover for some time, and this will be my first time kind of talking about it on YouTube, but I have been talking about it on other platforms every year around this time. So I got my lip gloss on and I'm ready to go for the day. But that's all I need. No, just kidding. So I wanted to share a little bit with I saw for especially for you fellow gardeners, for anybody that knows Deborah Christmas. I saw her video that she posted yesterday, and if you watched that video and you had dry eyes, it I mean, I don't probably want to say dry eyes, but I was tearing up throughout the whole thing because I know all about grief and loss. And I just wanted to, just kind of hug on her a little bit and just kind of comfort her a little bit. But what I wanted to say to Deborah Christmas this morning is that when we are experiencing grief and loss, we have a tendency to not care for ourselves properly. And we have a tendency to make decisions that we probably shouldn't. And we have a tendency to just not, to feel like we have to answer people. And what I want to say to you is that you don't have to. You don't have to speak to nobody right now. And you don't have to have an explanation, and you have a right to take care of yourself and to nurture your own soul, and you have a right to walk into that grief and just experience it um, without an explanation. And so I wanted to talk, and I wanted to say that I'm so sorry for your loss. This message is directly to you. I'm really sorry for your loss, and I was listening and I was feeling like, ah. Plus, take care of yourself. Stay hydrated. Don't make any decisions. And like I said, don't feel like you have to if you want to not be in someone's face, you can say that because it's really a time, um, it's a sacred time, really. And I'm going to say that because I've been through it. Not a husband, but my mom, and I still around this time experiencing. And I don't always know why I get like this sadness that comes over me, but um, I could be, you know, I think all of us probably go through it a little bit, but I just wanted to say that to you, and and everything, but. Whew, just breathe through it. Just breathe through it. Just breathe through it a little bit because how we respond to people too. I think that is really important when we see people who are grieving to experience that loss with them. But at the same time, what you say to people is important. But you don't have to say things to people. You don't have to tell them that God needed another angel. And you don't have to tell them that um, certain things. Only thing you need to do is say, I'm here for you if you need me, or show up. Because honestly, there's nothing that you can say to a person that is experiencing that kind of pain. And, it's an awkward situation for others because you really don't know what to say. But I can just tell you that out of experience, um, you don't have to say nothing. You really don't. Send a card. Some of these cards kind of speak for themselves. Send some money because they are about to bury someone and it's a very emotional time. Um, and you do need money. It might not always be at your disposal. And even if you have some type of a policy, it's not easily accessed right away. Good morning, everybody. I'm covering some things today that we're in the Milk Cafe today. I'm going to be juicing. I haven't decided to juice, but like on Fridays and Saturdays, I try to cover things that I'm experiencing and I know that other people are kind of experiencing out there. And today, I just wanted to talk about grief and loss. A lot of times, as we are going into these winter months, it's a little bit harder. It's cold, and all these holidays are about to start approaching us, and we start getting into our feelings. And so, um, if you know of someone that is experiencing some grief and loss, or you yourself are, just understand that that's normal. It's no matter how happy things might look around you, or how excited you might be in in your place of life, or where you are in life, there's going to be some experiences with grief and loss that set you back. Like every time I go through some kind of a um, triumph or some type of milestone, I want to call my mom. And so I don't get a chance to do that, but I'm in prayer. So, um, and you can't really tell people, like, well, don't worry about it because our spirit is there. She's watching over you. Those kind of things to say to people are not comforting. And so I know that you still probably want to say something because you want to feel like, oh my God, I just want to get her out of her pain and misery. But there's nothing that you can really say to a person. And I'm saying this because I'm speaking out of experience. You just got to kind of get yourself into a place. That's why I'm always talking about a stress-free zone. And I'm always talking about being okay with yourself and kind of loving yourself, because and staying prayed up, because there's going to be some times, no matter how happy you are, that life is going to throw some kind of a curve at you. And these days it's coming in the form of, unfortunately, death of a loved one. And so there's no amount of prayers that, could get you through that. There's nothing that nobody could say that could comfort you through that pain at that time. And that's what I just want to say. That pain that I had when my mom died, that pain that I had when my grandmother died, that pain that I had when my dad died. There's nothing that nobody could say that would comfort me at that time. And sometimes when we say stuff like God needed another angel, even if you really believe with all your heart and soul that that's true, that doesn't help people. It makes them angry. It makes them angry that, because they're probably thinking, well, I needed my mama too. I needed to be able to talk to her when I needed her. So some things that we say can be um, more detrimental than they are healthful. And so sometimes we just need to say, you know what, if you need to talk, I'm here for you. Here's my number. Here's a card. Here's some cash. If you've experienced loss, then you know why I throw cash in there, because there's things that are going to come at you financially speaking, that you might not even be ready for. So I always say that if you want to be helpful, put a card in the mail, if they're willing to give you their address, and send, something to say that I'm here for you. If you need to talk, I'm available. And I know not so much what you're going through, but here you go. Call me when you need to. And most of the time, because there is such a rush of people who want to get in on it and, want to just wrap their arms around you and stuff like that initially, it's the pain that happens 5 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years to 5 years down the road that, you might need somebody to talk to. So standing by and weeping with those who weep can can also be helpful. Um, yeah. So that's what I wanted to say today. I needed to get that out, and I always do that. I do it every year, like around this time. That if you find somebody that's depressed, or they just have an overall feeling of hopelessness, um, just be there for them. You don't have to find no right words to say. Like, we always feel like we need to say something to help a person feel better. Just your presence. Just your presence. And, I was thinking about you. I was thinking about you. You were on my mind. Happy Friday. Welcome. Just stuff like that. So I'm going to see who's in here. I've been talking and talking, but I'm going to see who came in. Angela's Busy Bees and Garden. Happy Friday. Kelly West. Yes, we are new friends. Welcome to the live. You guys are connecting. Angela says she agrees. Fix and Morris here. Welcome to the live. Backyard Gardener. Good morning, everyone. Yes, so true. Antoinette is here, and she is saying good morning and happy Friday. I'm on the road and listening. Thank you so much, Antoinette. I appreciate you for coming. I appreciate all of you guys for giving me this platform to speak. But I've been. I think it's kind of started for me maybe last week. I want to say last week. It kind of started to kind of sink in because I'm thinking, are we really at the end of October? And then that means November is coming, and December is coming, and January is going to be here. And then my mother passed in March. So March will be her 30-year anniversary. And it's still fresh. It's still fresh in my mind. And it's still, but one of the things that I do, and it doesn't mean that I feel less pain, but I'm the kind of person that my coping skills game is real strong. And so if you don't have a coping skill game, or if you don't have, a place that you can just kind of breathe through some things, it could be more difficult. It'll be more difficult getting through. And it's cold too. Look, it's cold. So just be there for people. You don't have to say no right words. You don't have to be there to say, like, stuff like God needed another angel, because it makes them angry. It makes people angry at God. And that's like the last thing you want to be doing, is kind of saying, and I've heard people say that, I know better, but I've heard people say stuff like that. I was so angry at God because I felt like this way, or I felt like that way. But one of the things that I wanted to go through too really quick is some stages of grief, because people be feeling some type of a way and they don't understand. But if you know that there is a process to everything, then you'll understand why it is the way you feel certain ways. So I pulled it up on Google, of course, and this particular site is called psychcentral.com, and it just talks about the 5 stages of grief and loss. And so the first one is denial and isolation. And definitely, you just want to be in a place where you just can't believe it. Even if the person is sick. Welcome to the Live Marlin Music Channel. Thank you for tuning in. And I see that you just came through Rushlink TV. Thank you for tuning in. You guys connect like you do. And I'm just going to continue to go through some of these stages of grief and loss. The first one is denial and isolation, because even if a person is sick um, and they pass and you know that they're terminal, you still just want to be in a place of I can't believe it. I can't believe that they're no longer here. And then you want to get to a place you don't want to hear what nobody has to say. And it's okay to feel like that. It's okay to be like that. And then two is anger. So you're angry, especially if a whole bunch of people been telling you, you know what, don't worry about it. You'll get over it, as if to say that the feelings you have, and people just don't really think about what they're saying. It's not that they want to hurt you, it's not that they want to say something to make you feel worse than you're already feeling. It's just that people just they want to grieve with you, but they don't know what really to say. And so the second one is anger. So you're angry at the fact that that person is no longer here with you, and you're angry depending on the surrounding circumstances. And then you go through a period of bargaining, like if I had done this or if I had done that, we could probably not be in this place. So that's stage number three. And then stage number four is depression. So once everything is kind of sunk in, once you get past the denial and isolation and anger and bargaining, there's some depression that kind of sinks in, and that's naturally so. So, and then five is acceptance. So, because my mom's death, even though she was sick and everything, and she didn't really share with us everything that she was going through as far as being terminal, it was shocking. It was shocking to me, all the things that I kind of discovered along the way. And so I can tell you that basically I've been through all these stages. And even years later, I feel like I'm still, and sometimes you start these stages all over again because you're still going through denial. Like, my goodness, we're still crossing almost into the third year. And I'm still like, wow, some days. But acceptance is coming to a place where, you know, you're probably saying to yourself, especially if somebody is sick, that they it's better now, because if they were sick, that they're no longer suffering, and they're in a better place. You don't want to hear that stuff initially, like, just your mom is in a better place, she's no longer suffering. Those are not the things that people want to hear of initially. You when you come to a point where you're in acceptance is when those kinds of things, when you can say that yourself. My mother had cancer, and so cancer is horrible. It's horrible to people, and there's a certain amount of suffering, a great deal of suffering that people go through when they're dying. And so, when you get to a point of acceptance, then you're saying, well, I'm not happy that she's no longer here, but I am excited about the fact that she is no longer suffering. So, when you get to a point that you can say that, then you're in an accepting, a place of acceptance. So, anything anybody want to share? I know that most people don't want to roll up on the very first day of November, but it's something that, like, when I get to a place where I feel like I want to share something, like, not everybody needs to hear that because not everybody has experienced that kind of loss. But when you do get to a point where you have experienced that, then you can just do the replay on this. And or if you come into a place, where you are going down memory lane in these next few months, then just understand that everything that you're going through is perfectly normal. Those stages of grief are normal to be. But I choose, like, on these days now, to celebrate my mom's life and my grandmother and my dad and anybody else that I might have lost. I choose that this time to, post memorable pictures, and I've always experienced, or like to do photography, and I make little videos of my mother's life and my grandmother's life and my dad's life to kind of celebrate them and who they are. Those things help me just kind of get through these times. Green organic love, also true. Even in the greatest of intentions, words aren't going to heal that broken heart. In my experience, time doesn't. I'm going to say that again. Time doesn't heal everything, everyone. Sometimes it just allows one to adjust. I'm adjusted. Maybe not so well adjusted on most days, but that's right. That is so right. I'm sorry. I got like a quick itch right there. So yeah, that is so true. It just, and it's like I said, it's not that people are wanting to say things that are harmful, or people just don't know what to say to you. People just don't know. And those are the things that people might have said to them that they think might help them feel better. But just telling somebody that you understand, or you, if you want to talk, I'm here for you, is okay. And just telling them that in time things will adjust. Just saying the right things to people, or not saying nothing, just being there. Send them a card. I'm thinking about you. I'm sorry for your loss. Just saying that I wish you peace and strength, because grief can knock you off your feet, especially if it was unexpected. Can you repeat the rules of the chat for the newcomers? Um, who is breaking the rules? So no hearts. If you see anything, to my moderators, if you see anything in the chat, you can just remove it. If you see that anybody is saying they want to show love or anything like that, to my moderators, just go ahead and remove it. Most people know the rules of the chat, and I'm not on today. Most people been in other people's chats and they know the rules. So if you see something, Marlin Music Channel or Backyard Gardener, that you know is inappropriate for a chat, just feel free to remove it, and I'll see it, and everything. Hello, who came in? Rushlink came in, who I think is new. Yeah, just remove it if you see it. If you see anything that yeah, it's not supposed to be here, just take it out. We don't come to play in here. Most people know the rules of the chat. Like, stop that. But good morning, J3GS Farms. So yeah, that was all that I wanted to say, y'all. It's pretty serious stuff, but I always do it every year. It's like keep people in mind. Keep people in mind, and nurture yourself. I like to get quiet, and there's nothing wrong with having some quiet time. There's nothing wrong with, saying, you guys go over there and sit down for a minute and just nurture yourselves, because a lot of people have a tendency to think that um not more than two, Antoinette. If you use more than two emojis, it is considered spam. But if you want to put two hearts up, that's fine. But more than two emojis, and then you're not allowed to put the I showed you love, which is a finger pointing to the heart. That's like saying, give me love back. So if you guys see anything like that in the chat, just please remove it. Um, what was I saying? Oh, on how you can getting ready to start work. Blessings to all of you. Thank you for coming by, Angela. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, okay. So yeah, we're not gonna be on here too much longer. Feel free to, yeah, pointing your finger to the heart is considered spam. Okay. Have a wonderful day, Angela. Yeah, so I forgot what I was going to say. But um especially if you just experiencing some grief, um, take care of yourself and don't do your best not to make any decisions. Like there are some decisions that I had to choose that I couldn't get away with, and they were pretty major. And looking back on it, I don't know how I got through it. Like I don't even know how I was able to get through making those major decisions in such a short period of time. Within 2 years, I bought a house, sold a house. I helped my sister graduate. Um, it was all kinds of stuff that I was like forced to do. And so but I want to say that I don't know how I got through that, but ultimately speaking, I do know how I got through that. I was doing a lot of praying, and I wasn't in a lot of people's face, and I wasn't allowing a lot of people to be in my face when I was making those major decisions. Um, and I wasn't really in a isolating. I wasn't isolating. I was just like a lot of people will give you a lot of advice, and I knew some things, and a lot of people are well meaning, but then a lot of people aren't. And so when you put in a position where you got to make decisions and major decisions, and not everybody likes those major decisions, um, there might be some turmoil. And so I say that just to kind of say that, I had to be in a place where I wasn't um, accepting everybody's advice, because everybody has advice for you. Everybody has answers. So if you are in a position like that, just get in a place where you like, I can see you, and you, and that's gonna be okay. I can talk to you, and you, but you, everybody else, I'll talk to y'all later. Um, and I hadn't opened up. Uh, Thank you so much, Marlon. I appreciate that. I hadn't opened up the mail for quite some time, and my voicemail was full on every level, because when I actually needed to hear the messages, which was sometimes 3 or 6 months down the road, and when I needed to open up the mail, because I knew was what was like in my face, like right now, was like major things. I wasn't uh, paying anything unless it was like major, unless it was there was a threat, a shut off notice. I was like, I ain't touching that right now because I was like, adjusting mentally. It's a mental adjustment, like Antoinette said. So, yeah. So that's all that I wanted to talk about to you, lovely people, you beautiful people today. It's you don't need to, there's nothing that can relieve that pain. I just want y'all to know that. People won't say that either. People who are grieving will say, "Okay, thank you," but it's such a sensitive time in a person's life, and so I say, you don't have to say nothing grandiose to nobody. Just, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry for your loss. That's and I wish you peace and strength, and that should be okay. And move from that. But you don't have to say nothing grandiose. They're gonna need you sometime down the road. Gunslinger Outdoors, welcome to the live. Thank you so much for saying that, Antoinette. I appreciate that. I do my best to share things as they come to me. And let me see. Um, my daughter gets off at this time, so she was messaging me. She's gonna be wait, no, she gonna be so mad at me. She just turned 29, and she messages me when she gets off because she works graveyard. So, and it's always like around the same time, like, right, are you in your live? And then she wants to call. So I'm happy to have that relationship with her because it could be worse. So I'm gonna get off of here very soon. I will be starting my garden sunrise because the sun is gonna be up very soon. The sun is gonna be up really soon, and then I'm excited because I'm starting my juice cleanse, and I think it's such a good thing to do. Just starting at the beginning of the month, just opening up my month every month with a fresh cleanse, a fresh cleanse, a detox. And it helps you to think like I'm really in deep thought. Like I don't know if a lot of people even want to be in deep thought anymore, but I'm that kind of a person that's like, I gotta breathe through stuff, make sure I'm in my stress free zone, make sure that, you know, I am covering myself and praying and meditating and breathing through stuff. A fresh cleanse. So, and it does so much. Mentally speaking, I'm clear because all the garbage that we eat, even who knows how much of that stuff is really real. But I'm not the kind of person that's gonna be so I can't eat that and I can't eat that and I can't eat that and I can never have this. So I just wanted to show your life some support. I appreciate that, Gunslinger. Thank you. Thank you for showing my life some love. I appreciate that. And if you really, really want to show this life some support, please remember to stay in at least 15 minutes and thumbs up the live. I'm just being real. Um, yeah, show y'all up. No, I'm just kidding. Um, Let me see. Okay, so let me get off of here. I will be back later on tonight, and it's just going to be some random chit chat. But in between all of that, it's going to be the garden. We're going to be in the garden for about 5 hours today. So feel free to come and mix and mingle um, and, meet and greet or whatever y'all want to do when that garden live is going on. But um, Your girl needs some watch hours. So I'm not playing around. I didn't come to play. So come back. We'll see you later. Have a good, right? So just saying. Have a good day, you guys. Bye bye.